Okay, so today we're going to talk about social media marketing. We're going to talk about Gary Vee's jab, jab, hook strategy. And we also, the main focus is that we're going to go over his presentation on how to get like 30 pieces of content a day, and how his team takes his content and makes all of these little micro content. I have the whole strategy in a PowerPoint, but before we get to that, I want to go over some social media basics that I put together, because everybody on the call is at a different level. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen, and we will do that. Let's see. Okay, does everybody see the full screen? Because it may have just switched over. Lauren, unmute so that I can ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you see the full screen PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. All right then. So we'll get started. If you have questions, then put them in the chat and I will try and get to them. I can't make any promises on that. Okay. Oh, there's more people coming in. Okay. So social media marketing basics, jab, 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 right hook. Let's get into it. Okay, so here is a glossary of terms that I think you guys need to know. Content is anything you post, such as words, photos, videos, or audio. Platform, we'll use that term. We're talking about Facebook, Instagram, whatever the social media website is. Community is all of your social media connections, people that know, like, and trust you. Impressions are views of your content, both voluntary and involuntary. If it comes up in somebody's feed, it's going to be counted as an impression. Okay. Engagement, those are the likes, shares, and comments that we're looking for. The thumbs up, the hearts, all that stuff. Hashtags are searchable words or phrases that describe the content. If you put hashtags, it makes it easier, so that if you put July 4th weekend as a hashtag and somebody searches July 4th weekend, it's going to come up. Organic reach is how many people see your content without any paid promotion. That is what we strive for, to get the most organic reach. Your brand, it's a big, scary word, but it's really just your reputation. You know, what are you known for? The feed are the posts that the platform wishes you to see. So that's kind of like the middle section that you scroll. That's your feed. Okay, these are phrases that Gary Vaynerchuk uses. I want you to be familiar with. Jab, 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 right hook, which is about what all this is about, is give, give, give. Then the hook, it's a boxing term. That's the knockout punch. That's when you ask. And it's okay to ask for business, but you can't ask all the time. Quantity leads to quality. This is a little bit counterintuitive, but when we talk about quality, we're talking about the posts that get the most engagement. We're not talking about the post where your hair looks nice and the lighting's good and the weather's nice and you got your fancy camera. That's not the quality we're talking about. The quality posts are the ones that get the most engagement. To figure that out, how do you post something that's going to go viral? Well, your chances are better if you have data and you know what your customers want. And the only way to get that is to post quantity. Contextual to the platform. People are in different mindsets on different platforms. You may actually have an account on LinkedIn, an account on Facebook, an account on TikTok, but when you're looking at TikTok, you're more in a lighthearted, casual frame of mind. When you're on LinkedIn, it's more business oriented. To take your post and make it contextual to the platform is kind of the key element for success in getting engagement on those posts. Okay, document versus create. One of the concerns with people creating content is they run out of ideas, right? I already talked about those things. I can't think of anything else. Well, document. That means that you do like a little bit about what's going on your day-to-day. You document the things that are happening. People love behind the scenes. They love, they're voyeuristic. I mean, look how long that, Kardashian show's been on TV, like 15 years. People just like to look in and see what's going on back in the kitchen. Okay, know your own DNA, be authentic. Don't try and present an image. Always be yourself. If you're a casual dresser, then be casual. If you like to dress up, do that. Whatever it is, don't try and project some sort of image that you think your audience is going to want, because they don't. They just want you. Okay, don't listen to the cheers or the boos. We expose ourselves when we post on these platforms and everything's out in the public, and you're going to have your haters out there, and they're going to say mean things. Why somebody would take time out of their day to sit there and type something negative to you is beyond me. That person must be really just a negative person. Maybe they're hurting inside. But here's the thing. You can't let it bother you. So what you do is you just tone all of it down. The people that put how awesome and terrific and everything that you are, that's great. But we're not going to get too excited about that. And then the people that criticize in a mean way, we're not going to let that bother us either. So give the community what they want. If you post pictures of your kids and you get a ton of engagement, that's what people want to see. If you try and use social media to send a message that you want to send, then people are going to tune you out. So through the quantity leads to quality theory, we figure out what the community wants. Don't put the past on a pedestal. And what I mean is, when it comes to marketing, things that worked 5 years ago may not work today. And right now, Instagram's hot, and in 5 years, it may not even be important. So you have to be open to what's going on right now. Have your finger kind of on the pulse of what your community wants and where they are. And if it worked in the past, that's great. But people, romanticize about what worked back 10 years ago, and that may not work anymore. You never stop testing content. So really, every time you post something, it's a little bit of a test to see how it's going to work. We analyze the data, we learn, and we get smarter. Content. Anything that, we just did that. We're going to the next one. Okay. So 99% of agents and loan officers do social media wrong. And this is why. They're selfish, they're spammy, they're sneaky, they don't care about their community, and they treat social media as an advertising platform. And you see in the little picture to the right, the reason most people struggle with building a community is almost everybody who says they're building a community is actually trying to sell to their customers. So nobody likes that. Nobody wants to just see an ongoing advertisement for mortgages or houses. Now, we're in business, so it's okay once in a while, but you don't want to be that person that is always trying to sell to the community. It's selfish. So you see real estate agents, and their only posts are their listings. Well, they're not giving their community anything that they want. They're just trying to sell them. And also it can be spammy just to constantly post, once a week, we get something from our marketing department and we post, hey, we now do VA loans. We now do FHA. We raise the loan limits. We raise the debt ratio. Okay, that's just 99% of the population doesn't care about that. It's spammy. And they only throw hooks. So they become assholes, as we call it. They run the risk of turning off their connections, or possibly, if it's too spammy, it'll get shadow banned, and then you'll post something and it'll get zero engagement, and you'll wonder what the heck went wrong. Well, that's because Facebook got tired of you. Okay, so we talk about building the community, and that is the most important part. I mean, in the back of your mind, think, okay, well, 1% are going to do business with me. So if you have 160 in your community, that's not that many sales or loans or homes or whatever. So you need to build it up, 5,000 minimum, and it needs to grow. Really, the bigger, the better. Community should be people that know who you are, not just people that you've connected to that have no idea or no connection. They need to know, like, and trust you. Think about a community for life. Let me see if I can get, so I can kind of see y'all. So does everybody, do you see the little button where you raise your hand? So how many people here are 30 and under? I'm just curious. Can you hit the little like hand thing? Okay. So there's a few. Okay. 40 and under. Okay, now we got a bunch. So here's the thing. So you're going to be working another 30 or 40 years. What are the chances that you're going to be selling mortgage loans 20, 30 years from now? Who knows? We may not even have mortgages in the same way that we know. You'll probably sell flying cars or maybe trips to the moon by then. I mean, you never know. So you have to think about building a community for your entire life, whatever you do. People to engage with, people to support you, and you to support them. So now with that mindset, invite everyone your friends, your families, your clients, customers, everybody that knows you and likes you and trusts you. You should try and build a community and add them to your various social media platforms. If they're already connected to you on Facebook and you have an Instagram account, ask them, say, hey, I just started a new Instagram account, and would you mind connecting there? And 90% of the people will. Join Facebook groups. I met a lot of you through the MLO Net group, and it's really terrific because they're like-minded people. The engagement is off the chart. I mean, if you're in a group of, motorcycle riders and you want to talk about a new motorcycle that Harley's coming out with, you're going to get incredible engagement, debates, and everything. And if you just post that in your regular feed, you're not going to get as much debate. Okay, respond to all the comments that you receive. I see this as an issue all the time. If somebody takes their time out to make a comment about your post, then you should respond to them and at least say thank you for the comment. But, having some kind of real engagement, some real conversation is even better. Make thoughtful comments to other people's posts every day. That's another way that drives engagement. People see that you're following them and you're liking their comments and you're making meaning not just like great job or looks like fun. I do that too sometimes when I'm in a hurry. But if you can say something in just one sentence, maybe more than 4 or 5 words, people, it really sticks with them, and then they're more apt to pay attention to your posts. Okay, what should you post? You should post what's going on with you, personal and business. We talked about, document versus create. Show good and bad. People can relate to you. Be authentic. Not everything, is that picture of you with your new car and at the concert, at the fancy restaurant. Don't just post. It looks like you're flexing, like you're showing off, and then people get turned off by that. They want to see you both the good and bad, and they like you both good and bad. So, vulnerability is the key. If you can be a little bit vulnerable, and I'm not talking about, you don't have to put your deepest, darkest secrets online, but the silly stuff, you're late to a meeting and you spill coffee on you. Well, that's going to get all kind of you take a picture of your shirt with the coffee and you tell a little story, and then everybody's going to have one of those stories about how they were going to an appointment and they spilled something, or something happened and it was embarrassing. So that happens to everybody. It makes you more likable. So the idea is to either inform or entertain. So you can give useful information, like about things going on in around town. You could say, hey, I just got some tires and they're running a big sale down at the tire store. People may appreciate that. Or you can be a little bit, you can be entertaining, something like, look at this new puppy I got my daughter. The puppy sleeps on its head. I don't know, cute pictures. That's entertaining. People love that stuff. Try and tell a story. Even on your hooks, kind of especially on your hooks, tell a story. Don't just say congratulations to the Joneses who just bought a house in Alpharetta. You want to say a little bit like, the borrower works for Lockheed Martin, and they were relocating with their 2 kids, and they were coming from Seattle, Washington, and they love the weather here in Atlanta, and they're into soccer. And people like those details. If you tell a story, then it makes it more engaging. It makes everything become real. Video is the most powerful by far. Some people hate video. When I look across my screen here, I see that about 60% of the people do not have their cameras on, which is fine. Maybe they're doing some other things while they're listening. That's okay. But some of them don't have their cameras on because they're embarrassed. They don't like the way they look on camera or whatnot. And that's just BS. People like you for the way you look. I hate to say, just get over it, but just get over it. But there again, if you really hate it, you're not going to do it. So if you're good with the written word, you can write a good story. If you'd rather just show photos and make comments about those photos, that's fine. If you want to do interviews and do audio, or just record something with the memo button on your phone and post that, you could just have like a picture of anything, a still shot, and then have the audio play in the background. You can also do shares and comments. There's other ways that you can add content if you hate video, but if you don't hate it, I would try and learn to like it because it's going to get the most engagement. Stay native to the platform. So this is a little bit different than being contextual to the platform. Native means that you don't put any links that draw people away, because you'll get shadow banned. So if you post to, if you did a video and you put it into your YouTube account, and then you said on Facebook, hey, you should watch this new video, and you put a link to your YouTube account, they're not going to like that. They don't want you pulling their customers off their website. So that's going to get no traffic. They may even shadow ban it. There's a little trick where you can put it in the first comment this works on LinkedIn. But basically, just think about if you have a video and you want to use it in multiple places, you need to actually take a minute and upload that to Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn so that it is held native to their platform. You're going to get more engagement. And then we talked about being contextual to the platform. LinkedIn's more business. You know, I look at Facebook as kind of all purpose at this point. So Instagram usually has shorter content, and TikTok is a little bit more jovial. So if you have the same message, you can put it on all of them, but you want the wording and the framing or the editing to be contextual to that platform. So where should you post? So this is, I'm not going to go over this, but this is a chart that just shows you, believe it or not, as I'm sure you know, Facebook has the most users, 2.7 billion. It's like half the planet is on Facebook. But people are surprised that the second one is YouTube, which is not far behind with 2 billion users. LinkedIn has a much smaller following, about 1/10, but LinkedIn is very powerful in the business world. It is not just used for recruiting and looking for employment. It is used for content and has a lot of engagement right now. Okay, so what's your mindset for success with social media? Think long-term. Your community is your life. So it is not the center of your goals, should not be to sell your community mortgages. Okay, think long-term. Okay, understand that you're not in the mortgage or real estate business, you're in the marketing business. Anybody can learn to take a loan out. Okay, your processor could probably does better when you're out of town. Mine does. She'd rather me just go out of town and leave her alone. Okay, so the paperwork and everything, somebody else can do it. Now, you may be in the beginning of your career and you need to be a one-man shop and you need to do it, and that's okay. That's okay, but understand that it's the marketing and the marketing of yourself that cannot be delegated. You have to do that part. Okay, you need to post every day. Get in a habit. Doesn't have to be the same time every day, but if you're a person that likes regiment and discipline, block it out on your calendar. Use real life stories with details. You'll get much more engagement. They're just much more interesting. The documenting of your life cannot be outsourced. I know a lot of you are thinking, hey, I'm going to have my 23-year-old niece do this because she really gets it. She knows all this about social media. I'll just pay her 15 bucks an hour. Okay, she cannot do it. You have to do the documenting of your own life. Now, can you have people help you with editing or posting or the mechanics? Absolutely. But when it comes to the actual content, you got to do it. I'm sorry to tell you. Do not use services that post. I know that, and companies will put out something and it will be like, time to change, time to clean your gutters, and then you'll think, well, that's a useful post. And then what I'll do is I'll take the title and I'll put it in the search bar, and then 140 of them come up. So because everybody in your company just posted that at noon today. What happens? You just get shadow banned. Your Facebook is like, what, this is duplicate posts, so we'll just ban them all. You'll get no engagement, and then you'll say, this social media doesn't work for me. I don't know why. Okay, start with two. It can be overwhelming. Start with 2 platforms and then be open to change. And, some people say, hey, I've been posting on Instagram for the last year and I get nothing. That's okay. There's 7 other platforms. So you tried it, didn't work. Let's try something else. Don't get too romantic with any of the platforms.